Cuyahoga County was the first county in the state of Ohio to pass the Crown Act. What does that mean for you? And what does it look like moving forward? All right, good afternoon. I am your host, Edwin Hubbard Jr. for the Cleveland Pulse, and we have a very special guest here today, Chi, the Strategic Director of Enlightened Solutions, is here to have a real conversation with us about hair and the recent passed Crown Act. Chi, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited. Let's get started.
And so for so many people here in Cuyahoga County and statewide, you know, the aspect of being able to show up and be who they are and wear their hair the way that is naturally designed has been a problem for so many. It has cost people jobs.
Sure.
It has cost people opportunities. And it is, in my understanding, it's been way too long until now.
Yeah.
And you all played a critical position in getting that to change. Why now? And why is this so important?
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me here today. I'm really excited to talk about this because, again, hair discrimination is anti-American. And the purpose of bringing acts like the Crown Act here to Northeast Ohio, to Cuyahoga County, is to make sure that all residents are supported and protected, right? So when we're talking about hair discrimination, we're really looking at this from a historical lens. This is not the first time that people have activated around the protection of Black hair. But we just thought that at this moment, it is very critical to lead with our morals and to be able to empower others to work with civic leaders like Michael Hauser and others that have supported this act to make sure that all Cuyahoga County residents are protected.
Ironically, the hair industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Sure is.
So it's crazy in and of itself to think that America culturally would not want to capitalize, and as they do, capitalize on the sale of hair in the United States, but only when it's beneficial to them financially, and not when it comes to people representing themselves and showing up how they are, using it as a tool to discriminate.
Yeah. So as we know, Black women are the leaders of the culture. Everything that is fly, everything that is popping, everything that is interesting starts and originates with Black women. But the Crown Act is not just for Black women. Again, this is about hair discrimination, texturism, featureism, Afrophobia. So this affects Black women, Black men, children. This affects all individuals that have curly hair or hair that can be worn in protective styles. This is an all people issue. And like I keep saying, yes, it starts and originates with Black women and our advocacy, but it branches out. I'm a history nerd, as everybody knows. And one thing that I've always researched and always learned about are the Louisiana Tignon laws. And these are, just to give you all a little bit of background, is back in the late 1700s and 1800s, Black women were forbidden from wearing their hair out in Louisiana, and specifically in New Orleans. So they had to wear hair wraps. And because the hair wraps were fashioned in such beautiful styles, Black women were able to adorn them with jewelry and feathers. Now people were jealous. So again, things that are born out of discrimination, now Black women are, again, maligned, and those spaces that we inhabit, individuals are, again, jealous of or wanting to police. These are things that have gone on throughout history. And again, we're just trying to make the point that hair discrimination is anti-American. And the more opportunities that we get to protect Cuyahoga County residents, we should be taking that. And Cuyahoga County is blazing that trail here across the state of Ohio.
I mean, but it wasn't easy.
Nothing is ever easy. But again, advocacy without tension is not advocacy, right? If you are not an individual that is willing to get in the ring and fight, then there's no advocacy. There's no need for it, right? So being able to call on a collective of individuals who will answer my emails is probably the thing that has led us to success. So like we stated, we went to Cuyahoga County Council. We spoke with a couple of council members, and it was County Council Member Michael Hauser that was super interested in this project. But we also worked with U.S. Representative Shontel Brown's office. We also worked with other council people and then other organizations like Third Space Action Lab, Collaborate Cleveland, Village of Healing, the NAACP, of course, who were signatories to this letter and to this public call.
All right, so this is one county, though.
One county out of 88. So we have, 87 more to go. It's not a big deal.
In order to make this a whole state mandated thing, what else has to happen?
Oh, boy. Well, first and foremost, we need to talk to Representative Juanita Brent because she's been doing this work for years now, and years with an S, attempting to take this downstate to the State House to make sure that all Ohioans, not just county by county, village by village, city by city, is protected. Now, again, cities like Akron have passed laws like this. Other, smaller cities have. But the fight needs to go downstate, and the case needs to be made that this, again, is an issue that is only going to protect Ohioans, and specifically Enlightened Solutions likes to place that this is a workplace economic issue. When you're discriminating against individuals by hair texture or hair type, you're actually artificially shrinking your workforce. You're bringing individuals outside of places where, or taking them out of an economy where they could be contributing. And it's super important for us to frame this as an economic issue as much as it is a moral issue, a justice issue for our state residents.
So you framed that perfectly for me. So why wouldn't somebody want to support this?
Because when people feel as though we are expanding rights in America, for some reason, we're always thinking about this as a zero-sum game. And I just reject that. I frame everything in an abundance mindset. More individuals being able to be protected is inherently a good thing. And again, just because it originates or it starts with Black women does not mean that it is not protecting other individuals. Many women, especially many white women, have come up to me, come up to Bethany, my co-founder, and talked about the stress that it takes to maintain various different hairstyles. Women talk about it all the time. Straightening your hair, cutting your hair, dyeing your hair, just to go to work, when it has nothing to do with your job responsibilities, your education, how good of an individual you are, or how strong of a worker you are. It's comical when you start thinking about how much stress something as silly as hair is causing, yet and still it affects our health when we're thinking about cancer rates, when we're thinking about relaxers, perms, things of that nature that may cause traction alopecia, tension alopecia, all the way up to scarring. These are things that we should be taking into account when we're thinking about the ways that hair discrimination is affecting people and affecting our workplaces.
Now, ironically, even from the perspective of a male, this impacted me when I first heard about it. When I was getting out of college and I was coming home and I was looking for a job in a retail store that I won't name.
Yeah.
I had locks.
Yeah.
And I walked in and they told me, hey, you had a great interview. You charmed us. We would like to hire you. However, we have a question. Would you consider cutting your locks? Because we want a more cleaner, professional look.
Yeah.
At that time I needed a job.
Of
so
course.
I cut my hair. But it spurred me, for so long. It hurt my feelings, the fact that I had to cut my hair in order to assimilate, which I'm still not able to assimilate to this culture.
Of course. And the issue around that is you are placing your livelihood with your personhood, against your personhood. And that is specifically what we are attempting to eradicate. Enlightened Solutions last year published our research Project Noir, which is about the lived experiences of Black women in Northeast Ohio. We published this research and asked a specific question about hair and featureism. And in fact, we learned that out of the 1,300 Black women we surveyed around workplaces, healthcare, and education, 68% of them got negative comments about their hair or their facial features at work. This is just Black women. I'm certain if we widened this survey, the Project Noir survey, and included Black men, people of color, the numbers would be just as large. We have various different instances, myself included, of being told when I was in graduate school, hey, you should probably straighten your hair, don't wear braids. I have been told, hey, don't dye your hair. right? Don't dye your hair any color lighter than black. We are always told how to place ourselves within boxes just to be able to fit in a society where we're never going to be able to fully assimilate. And again, bringing and broadening this concept to include men of all races is super important, because these are experiences that we share, and these are experiences that absolutely should be dismissed and eradicated.
So, I mean, you said a lot of good things. I want to know, how does the Crown Act affect youth who may be in sports, who have been told they have to cut their dreads because they're maybe on a wrestling team, or that they have to wear certain styles in order to participate in their sports going forward? You know, we've seen countless instances of young ladies who are running track who are saying that their hair was swinging back and forth and hitting people or hurting other people, and that they needed to cut their hair, remove those styles. Does this Crown Act protect individuals like them?
So, unfortunately, the Crown Act, as it is here in Cuyahoga County, is really just expansive for residents of Cuyahoga County, but it doesn't affect our school districts. That's a little bit different, right? So, although it is protective of all Cuyahoga County residents in public spaces, this particular Crown Act, and again, this is step one, right? So I am winking and hoping that school districts across the county and school districts across our state will be able to look into ways that we're able to protect young students of color, Black students, because to your point, children are super underprotected in these kinds of laws. When adult says something within a school district, it goes, right? And usually if those adults are not culturally competent, all the way up to if those adults have malicious intent, they will force children to do things like cut their hair or alter their appearance just to be able to fit in. And because they are under the jurisdiction of that school district or that teacher or that environment, many times children are forced to do that. So we are looking forward. We're looking towards the horizon, looking towards education advocates that would like to join us in this fight. And as a former middle school teacher, I was for many, many years, I've seen it within my own classroom. I've seen it within the districts that I worked in, and want to be able to make sure that all children are protected as well.
So do you see right now the pronouncing, I'm going to say the pronouncing of ignorance is more of a thing of cultural incompetence, or do you think it is people that are genuinely ignorant and genuinely have hatred and not wanting to allow people to do these things? I'm
going to be super frank. I think it's jealousy. And it comes down to having low esteem for your own self. If you are an individual that has high self-esteem, high racial self-esteem especially, you're not looking to what other individuals are doing with their hair, how they're expressing themselves. If you have low self-esteem, you are constantly looking for instances to insert yourself where you are not needed. And I genuinely believe that individuals that are commenting underneath posts, we see them everywhere. I do have my Reddit tuned up. I see all of those comments. I laugh about them because, again, you're not affecting my world. If you really had something better to do, you wouldn't be commenting underneath a post that has nothing to do with you, and it's jealousy. I'm more so interested in staying in the light and staying in the spaces where I'm affirmed, which is around Black women first, and then around all women secondly.
I mean, you answered my question. I was going there next. You know, it's a very positive thing that we're doing, and Black women should be able to be proud to wear their hair the way that they desire to wear their hair. But I know that everybody's not a fan. I know that everybody is not clapping for this and is not as supportive of these changes. And I know that you all are hearing those things. And as we hear things like that, we get hate mail sometimes.
Of course.
People are angry. And when I see that, it just lets me know that we're doing something right.
Yeah. I think it's more than that. I think we're doing something just. We're doing something that is worthy of applause, and you're not going to get universal, applause. I'm not ice cream, right? I'm not universally liked. Black women are not universally liked, but the center of my universe is Black women. And as long as they are clapping and cheering me and pushing this work behind me, I know that I'm in good company.
And I appreciate that. So let's change pace a little bit.
Cool.
Let's say now that we know, what's happening right now, that there is a Black woman who is in a respective workplace and she's been told that she can't wear hairstyle. Maybe she's not aware that things have changed yet. What should she do?
Well, first things first, they should reach out to Enlightened Solutions. We are on all social media platforms at Work Enlightened. You can always find us if you put Enlightened Solutions Cleveland in any search bar. You'll be able to find us, email us, and contact us. Second thing that you should probably do is go to the Human Rights Commission at the Cuyahoga County. They will have resources there for you. Their attorneys are top notch. There are individuals that will be able to talk you through that process. So again, kind of understanding what has happened to you, what are some of the resources that are available to you, and then moving forward from that based on your own experiences. But I think the most important thing to do is to make sure that you know that you're not alone. Hair discrimination is real. It is racialized, and many times it's gendered. So again, for Black women, you're going to be hit on both sides. Making sure that you know that you are not alone, that there are resources there. Enlightened Solutions is there for you, but other organizations that we also work with, the Urban League, the NAACP, lots of different other Black-centered or economic justice-centered organizations are also there for you to make sure that whatever you're going through, you know that you're not alone and that there are opportunities for you.
I think that's great. I think that's really important for people to know where they can go should they experience any type of discrimination. And I agree. I would double down that the Cleveland branch NAACP is certainly here for those types of instances as well.
Perfect.
I mean, moving forward, what can we expect to see from Enlightened Solutions as we continue on this journey of equality, I would say, for our Black women?
It's always so funny. The moment that you do something, people are like, what's next? And it's like, well, sleep would be great. But truthfully, what's next for 2026 on the horizon is that Enlightened Solutions is looking towards creating 4 different activations by quarter next year around not just the Crown Act, but activating around Project Noir. So look out for those opportunities. We're going to be looking at what hair discrimination looks like in the workplace. We're going to be looking at that in the education systems. We're going to be looking at that in healthcare. But then more broadly, what can we do to make sure that Cleveland, Northeast Ohio, Cuyahoga County more broadly can be a space where Black women are not just able to survive, but spaces where Black women are able to thrive? It's important for us to be able to make sure that we know that Black women are safe here and that Black women are able to be successful here. So look out for 2026. We have opportunities to get together, to commune, to learn a little bit about each other, to network, but then more than that, to connect our broader residents to resources and organizations that can also help them as well.
So one of the questions I like to ask everybody on every show is about activism, because to me, at the very core, this is activism too, right? Like this is what it means to fight for something that you believe in, to fight for people that you believe in. But it's different, right? It's not activism in the way that we saw it in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. It's 2025 activism.
Sure.
And so from your perspective, what does an activist look like in 2025 moving forward?
Well, I can only speak for myself, and I would say that I do not consider myself an activist at all. I consider myself an individual that believes in justice, and wherever I can be in a space where individuals can, capitalize on justice, that's where I'll be. I will also say for myself, as a first-generation immigrant, as an individual whose parents were born in Nigeria, and myself as a Nigerian, I can't, in good conscience, not build upon the sacrifices, the intelligence, the work of Black Americans here in this country. That is something that has been instilled in my family since I was a young child. So again, advocacy and activism here in this country starts and is rooted with Black Americans. And I can't take credit for being able to stand on the shoulders of giants and the shoulders of individuals that have absolutely changed the entire course of the Western world, specifically around civil rights. So for me, my activism is just very rooted in following in the footsteps of the Black Americans that came before me.
And I totally appreciate that. I'll ask you another thing. So another question would be, For Black Americans right now, and I feel like I know the answer, what is one important thing that young Black Americans should be doing right now?
Ooh, gosh. Staying informed. That doesn't mean be reactionary, especially not online. Conserving your energy, but being informed is so important. And I know that we live in a time period where information, especially access to information, is at our fingertips. It's in our Remarkables. It's in our phones. But picking up a book is even more revolutionary than just watching a YouTube video from somebody in some faraway land or some basement somewhere, right? So making sure that Black children, Black Americans in general, are informed about the world around them, but they are not necessarily reactionary to the things that are framed to be incendiary is probably the most important thing that I could say.
Okay, I love that. To our new listeners who've tapped in today and have heard some nuggets from all the amazing things that you've mentioned here, what should they do? How can they help? How can they get involved?
Get involved by following Work Enlightened. We just put out our autumn newsletter today. So there are many opportunities to see the work that we have done and the work that is yet to be completed. Definitely get involved with us there on social media or email us at hello@enlightened-solutions.com. But then also follow our friends as well. Many organizations are doing fantastic work throughout the fall, and we need to be involved and support those advocacy avenues as well.
Okay. So holiday season is upon us.
Yes.
We are in these busy times. You know, on the last show, we talked a little bit about we're living in a government shutdown.
We are.
Snap. So many things happening. What should we be focused on at the end of the year?
Local. Everything here, local, right? I just saw a post about individuals creating small food bags for people to be able to go up without any shame and grab extra food, extra rations for individuals. We're going into the holiday season, making sure that you think of an advocacy avenue for you that you would like to support and give. One of the most powerful things my father ever told me was the only time you should be looking at your neighbor's plate is to make sure that they have enough. We need to be making sure that our neighbors have enough, not looking over at our neighbor's plate in envy. So keeping involved locally is really important, and doing one thing is better than being overwhelmed by how much there is to be done.
That was incredibly profound.
Thank you.
Are you sure you don't have a future in politics?
Absolutely not, y'all. Not at all.
Well, Chichi, I want to thank you for taking some time and coming and talk to us today. I mean, you are amazing. The work you're doing is amazing.
Thank you.
I mean, you can shout out one more time how people can get in contact with you if they want to follow you.
I will absolutely plug Enlightened Solutions. Follow us, Enlightened Solutions. We are on Work Enlightened on all social media platforms. Go into your search bar, type in Enlightened Solutions Cleveland. You'll find us there. And the person you'll be DMing is me. So be nice. Be nice.
You heard it here first. If I don't see you anytime soon, before the next time I see you, do the best you can to take care of yourself. Peace.